Keep your responses brief. We've got lots of questions left. In his column last Sunday, Dennis Anderson was at Farm Fest. He said at Farm Fest the buffer law seemed about as popular as soybean cyst nematodes and northern corn leaf blight. I hope it's more popular with this group. I'll start with you, Tim. As governor, would you support efforts to repeal, neuter, or otherwise dismantle the buffer law?
No, and let's start out. One thing we all agree on is the clean water piece. I will say this is Governor Dayton and I have significant differences in style. I certainly would have representing the 9th largest congressional district of the 435 in the country, and having the support of many of those agricultural groups, I worked very closely with them. I would have built that coalition on the front end, because if you talk to many of those people, they were a little bit disappointed when the regulatory piece came out before the actual maps came out. But I would not report to repeal it. I would work with them to build that trust. I do believe strongly in this. If we're going to take private lands, then they should be fairly compensated for them. But I think the idea of saying, and I believe, and we'll hear, I think earlier in the year, Jeff said he would be interested in repealing that. That is not the way to go. The way to go is to get the buy-in back in, to show the fairness to this, to understand that the frustration coming out of agriculture is real, not in opposition to clean water, but in real to the regulation as it was put in, and the lack of feeling like they had input in it. So I think I would strengthen that relationship, bring them back into the process. I recognize it's harder after the fact that's there, but I think the one thing that we need to note is we had over 90% compliance the first year of folks in that, and are starting to see some of the results. What I would argue, and it's what I did in the Farm Bill, if you do it on the front end like we did with conservation compliance, where we said, fine, if you're not going to follow the rules, then there's $0 federal dollars for you. It was interesting how quick the farm community said, if we lose crop insurance, we're willing to buy into this. Those are things where you see people as partners. So no, I would not repeal it, but I would work much closer with ag, and I would listen to their concerns, and I would start making sure, because I'm telling you, after we did this, I don't know about all of you, I saw a lot more no hunting and no trespassing signs pop up afterwards, cutting down access for many of us, and that shows that we've got a relationship problem between folks who want to use that land, see it, and the landowners.
We have a huge relationship problem there, because I've seen the same signs, and I've talked to a lot of farmers who feel that way. I think the way this issue was initiated a couple of years ago is one of the best examples I can come up with of the arrogance in government, because it was one of those edicts from on high that came down and doesn't work for certain people. It might work for others, but it doesn't work for certain landowners. And so I have been very honest on this. I think that we should repeal it and start over again, because everybody I talk to, including every farmer I talk to, has concerns about clean water. And it is not working for them. Maybe part of that is a perception, because they're so angry about how this happened, and maybe some of it is real, but it's not working for them. And I'm a strong believer that our agencies have to start working with the people they are regulating when they are trying to solve a problem, when they are trying to come up with new regulations, when they are trying to enforce regulations. Unfortunately, right now in some of our agencies, we have a top-down mentality that doesn't understand their job is to serve people. So, you know, this isn't working as is. I do believe we need to do something, and every farmer I've talked to has agreed with that. And it's never going to be perfect, and every farmer is never going to be happy about what comes out of it. But if they don't feel like they were part of that solution, I don't think it's probably a very good law. I will add to it that we do have a huge problem as it exists, if we keep it, that we are taking property without compensating people. And that was a big issue for me when I was in the legislature. I was chief author of a bill that completely rewrote property rights so that government could not take property for another private buyer, for a different private purpose through eminent domain. And I feel this very deeply, and the fact that we're taking property out of production and not compensating people is a good indication that this law is not good.